Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I'm Paul. I'm the commissioner of the league. Welcome to the league, Ryan, Mike. We already know each other from our days in New Jersey. Jeremiah, welcome back to the league. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going well for you. But welcome back, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming on and having a great draft. I Today I'm just going to use this to go over some rules and regulations. It is a keeper league. We did get 7 votes. I haven't got Mike's vote yet, but it is a keeper league. I think 70% of the league coming back at least allows us, if somebody doesn't come back, at least allows us to replace us. But I'm pretty sure DC will come back regardless. Hopefully, he adds a lot to the league, I believe. The next thing we're going to talk about is the trade rules. There is a new trade. We've had some concerns, a lot of issues with trades in the past. So I feel like it's best for this league that we go back to the regular ESPN rule, where it's 48 hours and four votes. That means 40% of the league has to veto a trade. I feel like if 40% of the league are against a trade that much, then it should be gone. But I feel like that's a really good start for us. And it's 48 hours. I know a lot of you guys like the 24-hour rule. I think the issue with that, this is baseball, so you're not going to lose that many by losing that player for 2 days. I think if it's football, I totally understand because, Sunday's the only day that they actually play. So if you miss Sunday, then it could really hurt your team. With that said, though, guys, there are 2 commissioners that will be added to the league like we do every year. They're the league managers. One will be the commissioner of transactions, meaning trades, waiver wire, free agents, any type of issues along those lines. That will be head up by Jeremy Goldblatt. So he will now be the leader of that. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, he understands the waiver wire, he understands how the trades work. He'll handle any concerns that you guys may have about that. Now, in the event that a trade does have to be approved earlier, he does have to get the approval of Mark. If Mark has an issue, I'll step in and I'll investigate. And that will be Jeremy's rule, waiver wire or anything like that. Or if somebody wants to do a waiver wire trade with that too, it will be Jeremy's responsibility to get that. Also, we now have keeper leagues, so we want to make sure that we start getting some young players on our teams and prospects. Things along those lines, scheduling issues, keeper leagues, how many people that we're actually going to keep on a team, the scheduling, starts, making sure that people only do 10 starts. Sometimes there is glitches in ESPN where somebody can sneak in 11 starts. That will be led by Mark Ellis. He will handle all type of issues along those lines. If you keep going over your starts and he penalizes you, this is for starting pitching too. I should have said that. If you go over your starting pitching and he penalizes you, any way he'll come up with that system in any way he wants to come up with it, I will approve anything that he brings to me. If he says, hey, you lose 20 points for going over a start, or the best pitcher of that week you lose, then that's the facts. Just don't go over your starts, guys. It's 10 starts. It's not that hard. It's not like basketball where there's a bunch of hitters. You can start as many as you want. Pitches you cannot. You have to make it fair. Sometimes you might have 20. Somebody might only have 7 that week, so we want to make it competitive as possible. So any type of scheduling, scoring, points, keeper, any type of questions along those lines, points, rules, will all be headed by Mark now. He'll handle everything, and Jeremy will handle all waiver wire questions along those lines. If those two have any issues, concerns, they can definitely come to me. They can ask other people how they feel. They can create votes. They can do it however they want to do it, but I trust that the 2 of them will do it, and hopefully they'll do it appropriate. The reason for this, guys, is sometimes when one guy's in charge, it seems like a dictatorship, and even when I write, I try not to make it look like that, and I try to have everyone's opinion, but sometimes you do have to make a stand, and sometimes you can't just change rules 4 or 5. I think in football, we switched the trade rule 3 or 4 times, and at the 5th time, somebody was asking me to change it, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I understand that it may look like a dictatorship, but I changed it 3 or 4 times before that to make everybody happy. So this year, it's going to be what they say goes. If there's any concerns, you feel like someone's unlawfully treating you, you can definitely contact me. But I think there's not going to be any concerns now that we know Jeremy's going to lead this way, Mark's going to lead that way, and I'll be in the middle to make sure everything is enforced correctly. If there's an issue where you can't get a player in, you can't get a start in, that will have to be headed by Mark, and Mark has to approve it. I always had the rule where if you told me by the 1st inning that you wanted the pitcher to start and you forgot to start him, I always allowed it, but if Mark decides not to allow it, it's Mark's rules. If Mark decides to allow it, he says the second, third inning, that's Mark's rules. As long as he tells the rest of the league that it'd be adding points. And remember though, if he does that, you don't get 10 starts. You're only going to get 9 because you're getting that extra added start from that player. So on your thing, it can only say 9, it can't say 10. But Mark will handle everything like that, and Jeremy will handle every waiver wire trade, free agent, transactions, any transactions that you guys may need. He'll handle it. He'll make sure that there's, if there's 4 vetoes, it's automatically going to void. But he's going to make sure that, if there's 7, my rule has always been if there's been 7 allows, you can't physically have 4 vetoes. But if he decides not to do that, if he decides that, he wants to wait it out to 48 hours, that's going to be up to him. You guys can create votes, trades, anything you guys want. But I just want to have a fun, happy 2014 fantasy baseball season. Thank you guys so much and have a great season, guys.